What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Today's video is how to deal with anxiety. Let me just go on a record and say this. Anxiety is all here. Now, I know that it can be a condition, and I know that because I suffer from it too. ADHD, a part of ADHD is anxiety. But can it be conquered? Do you have to put medication in your body in order to get through the day? I think it can be conquered here because really at the end of the day, all you have to do is tell your mind to shut up. I'm tired of listening to you. I'm tired of those negative thoughts that you're trying to give me. I don't want to hear it no more. It's not real what you're telling me, mind. So the first thing you got to do, and I've been in many situations where I've had anxiety, flying to China, flying to Somalia, flying to Nepal. You know, a lot of people, you're going to get robbed. The plane's going to go down and this happens and that happens. You're going to get robbed. You're going to get this. You got to tell your mind to shut up. I've learned to only deal with something when it happens. If the plane's going to go down, I'm going to freak out then. I'm not going to freak out when it's going flying. Fine. There's no sense of giving energy to something that doesn't exist. I had to learn that the hard way. If it doesn't exist right now in this moment, if someone doesn't have a gun to my head right now, I'm not going to worry about the person with the gun. Not going to worry about it. I'm not going to create this fantasy so I can freak out. So you have to take some time out and say, there is nothing going on when you're getting ready to do the speech, because that's something that a lot of us can relate to. There's nothing going on. Everything's fine. Everything's cool. Nothing going on. That's what you have to tell yourself. So before I go into speech, I remember when we had to do speeches on a regular basis and people ask, Abdul, are you nervous? You seem so calm up there. Look, YouTube have helped me for speeches. I have over 1,300 videos. If you do that many videos, because a lot of people are afraid to turn the camera on and hit the record button on YouTube. You get practice. So when you run out of things to say, because that's the moment you're like, oh my gosh, you just improv. I mean, you just, come up with something. And when you talk a lot and when you're constantly doing it, you have things that you can add. And people think that it's a part of the speech because guess what? Everyone does not have a copy of your speech. But let me just tell you a few people that maybe surprise you that are in the spotlight of the world and are scared out of their mind. Barbara Streisand, who stepped away from the industry for 3 decades, only because she was afraid. She had anxiety to the point now where she's on anxiety medication. Some people have to do it. Megan Fox is one. Adele is one. Right? But let me see. Let me tell you a story about Ella Fitzgerald. She sings the song At Last. I can't sing, but she sings that song. You know what? You know how she's Ella Fitzgerald? I don't know if you guys have watched the show Showtime at the Apollo. When she stepped out on stage, you know what she was supposed to do when she stepped out on stage to do her performance? She was supposed to dance. And at the Apollo, they have this mentality where if you're not good, they're going to be boo, and they don't care if you're a little kid. They're not going to be like, oh, you know what? It's okay. Give her applause anyway. No, they're booing you off. And the guy is coming dancing with a cane, and he's pulling you off the stage. But she was so frightened that she didn't dance. She sang instead. And now we know her for Ella Fitzgerald. So it's crazy. Like in that case, the nervousness actually helped her because maybe she couldn't have made it with the dance. Maybe it was meant for her to do the singing, right? Another person is Cher. Cher was so afraid when she used to do the Sonny and Cher thing, she would depend on him and look at him and draw off of his strength in order for her to feel comfortable. Look, everybody that's on stage, even Barack Obama, there is nobody really comfortable with getting in front of people and just talking, just because they're smiling and it look like they have charisma, you don't know what conversation they're having in their head to make that go on. They could be singing lullabies. They could be saying, everything is calm, everything is calm. So get over that. That feeling that you have, you're not the only one. There is somebody else that has that same feeling, right? So don't sweat it. And then the last thing is my man Rod Stewart. I'm gonna leave you with a quote. He said, if you don't have that butterfly feeling in your stomach, you're probably not going to give your best performance. Because when I would do, when I was in the military and we would have these PT tests, the physical training tests, and if you don't pass them, if you fail so many of them, you could get kicked out. And I never failed the PT test. I was in good shape. But every time before I would start the PT test, I would get afraid. I would get the butterfly feeling in my stomach. I would have to watch what I eat because I'm going to have to run to the restroom and it would just feel weird. And before you start, and I knew I was going to pass it, but really it helped me because that fear of, oh my gosh, I can get kicked out of the military if I don't start, it kept me going. It kept me like, I need to do as many push-ups as possible. I need to do many sit-ups as possible. I need to run as fast as I can because you didn't want to fail. So the butterflies in your stomach can be a great thing. But what happens is, we are not used to being outside of our comfort zone. So we look at that as a negative thing. But if you don't have the butterfly feeling, I remember taking off from Nepal and I'm like, I'm all the way over here close to India and I got to fly all the way back. And I'm thinking, oh my God, is the plane going to make it? You start thinking crazy things. And then if you let those thoughts come, then all of a sudden you're swimming in those thoughts. You're fine. Everything is great. Everyone's going through the same thing that you're going through. You can survive. Do it anyway. That's all I have to say, great people. So, until next time, signing off.